survived the street dance. What a great time we had. Thank you to everybody for showing up early and making all of that happen. The food was delicious. The music was great. Thank you, Dave, for setting all of the music up and everything. Yeah, it was an awesome time. My whole family came. All three of my grandkids were here. It was really a fun time. Yeah. So thanks for that, and look forward to next year's street dance, huh? Oh, is that too soon to say?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Some of us have to forget the effort and then say, oh, what a great idea.
It's kind of like having another baby,
Look
right?
forward to it.
I just invite you to breathe with me as we're going to recite our purpose statement together. So just take a breath right now, a mindful breath, and relax. Maybe listen to the noises in the neighborhood. Allow those to just float on by. Feel the presence of love. Feel your heart warming your body. Imagine a tingling, glowing light expanding and growing bigger within your being. This morning we join together as CSL and we merge our lights as one light. We expand our love as one love. And we focus joy and peace upon ourselves and each other and the world as we speak our purpose statement together from this space of perfect harmony right here and right now. So in your handout is our purpose statement. Let's speak it together now. As an intentional spiritual community, the purpose of CSL is to be a living environment for individuals to realize that we are all unique emanations of God, the love intelligence governing the universe. We embody the truth of our oneness with God, and we consciously practice this truth in our everyday life. Through the exploration of new thought, ageless wisdom, and the energy of unconditioned love, we are dedicated to individual transformation and to being a beneficial presence in the world.
Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. I will make a quiet place, a quiet place within my life, and I will listen, Holy Spirit. I will listen. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place.
And in this stillness, please join me as we let go of the busyness of the morning and focus on the present moment. That present moment that is the totality of the living Spirit. And we enter into that union of all that is. And I recognize that this Spirit is the living Spirit Almighty, the God who is infinite, whole, and complete. And I recognize this presence in and through all life, for it is the only one life, expressing in diverse forms, fashioning us in its perfect being. And this is my life and the life of everyone, for we are each beloved expressions of that living Spirit. And today I declare that what is true for me is true for everyone. That infinite wholeness is that perfect peace within each of us, and that we are open and receptive to all that Spirit is. For that infinite intelligence is working through all of our affairs, and our thoughts are guided, directed, governed, and inspired by divine wisdom. Infinite wholeness is the circulation of our ideas, intelligence, wisdom, and truth. And this is our life full of infinite possibilities, supported by an abundant universe. And I declare and accept for each one of us that we are alive, awake, and aware of our infinite blessings. And we let go of all that doesn't express our wholeness, our completeness, and our perfection. And I turn my awareness to the request in the prayer chest, the longings in your heart, knowing that each desire is centered in divine power, that Spirit lifts and energizes each desire in abundance, health, joy, compassion, and each request is answered in the Spirit of perfect God, perfect man, perfect being. And that healing presence is being revealed, made manifest right this moment. I bless this gathering today. We are blessed by the volunteers that serve us in loving kindness. We are blessed by the staff that inspire this service to our greater enhancement opening our consciousness to a greater awareness of our inner goodness. And I am grateful for this truth of our daily blessings and our daily consciousness, witnessing the awe of God in every moment. So in total gratitude, knowing that this word moves through spirit, knowing it is already so in the mind of God, coming into manifestation, I declare we just let go, knowing it is already so, as we join together and declare, and so it is.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul.
Well, good morning. I'd like to remind you of the prayer chest behind the sign on the table. If there is something that is seemingly an obstacle, something in your life that needs a little more oomph for you to just feel that spirit moving in and through, and as you please, put your desires in the prayer request, and the practitioner will do affirmative prayer on your behalf this week. Even if she isn't here on Sundays, she still prays for you.
That's a miracle.
From Francis of Assisi. Start by doing what's necessary. Then do what's possible. And suddenly you are doing the impossible. And from Ernest Holmes. The great mystics have all agreed that an individual's life is theirs to do with as they choose, but that when they turn to the one, they will always receive inspiration from on high.
All right, here we go, So here we are in September. From the book Empowerment. I have the book here today by John Randolph Price. We have been studying his 10 laws of manifesting. He says these steps or these laws or principles come in this order. So we're going to do a little review, okay? So this is the order they come in. They always come in this order when we're manifesting. We're always manifesting. So we're always doing these things in order, whether it's, we're made a choice to go to Dairy Queen and get some ice cream, or we made a choice to buy a house, we made a choice to get married, whatever these big or small choices, we're always doing these steps in this order. So he says the first is always attunement, okay? And he's talking about manifesting your desires, okay? So he's talking about attuning. When we silence our thinking minds to tune in to that essence that we call God, okay? He calls that attunement. That higher vibrational realm, God's kingdom. We align our own vibration with God's vibration by silencing our own thoughts and getting out of our own mind into our heart energy, okay? We must bring ourselves to the awareness of that God presence everywhere in and through all people and things in order to lift ourselves up out of the world consciousness into that kingdom or God consciousness. We can do that by, guess what? Practicing meditation, prayer, and contemplation. So that's where we start, the very first step. And then the second step from there is choice. And from this place of connection with our source, we then can choose what we want. Choose our desires in alignment with God. So we go to God and get in alignment first so that our choice is in alignment with that God presence. Do you see how that can benefit our life? I do. Third step, acceptance. This is where we open to the possibility of this choice or the desire by accepting that if the idea came to me in spirit, then it must contain within it everything needed to bring it to fruition in my life. We accept that. The fourth step is have, H-A-V-E. So after we accept that our choice is possible and available, even if only in the invisible realm of the idea right now, by continually affirming this possibility, we begin to develop a faith that we already have this choice in the mind of God. It is already complete for us. We just need to connect the dots to manifestation. Okay? So the fifth step we talked about becomes visualization, where we use our faculty of imagination to visualize our choice that we've made or our desire in our mind's eye. Very specific, in a completed state. We see it completed in our mind's eye. This is called visualization. In the sixth step, which is love, we fuel our visualization with the power of love. We love our new idea or our choice so much that we magnetize it with the creative power of the universe, which is love. So do you see how good God is? Feels good to love, and it magnetizes what we want. In the seventh, we learned to use our spoken word. That was just last month. Our spoken word is our instrument through which we express our choice into the physical world. We take the action of speaking words, which are ideas in action. God created the world out of ideas, complete, whole ideas, and it was done. We are made in the image and likeness of God. We too create by first thinking ideas and then bringing them forth through our spoken words. So, far as now, we have been building the power and the energy behind our desires, right? You can feel that we're building it up. We have been energizing it with our love and even outwardly expressing in our words. So before we become too attached to the outcome of our desires, we come to this month's theme or focus, the 8th principle, which is surrender.
Yahoo!
Everybody's favorite, surrender. So today I want to start this month with the question, what is surrender and how do we do it? Okay. First, I would like to share what John Randolph Price says about surrender in his book here, since we're studying this book. Step 8, the principle of surrender. He says, in this step, you let go and let Spirit do its perfect work in bringing forth the fulfillment of your desires. It means that you are totally willing to accept the way and the truth of your divine consciousness, which is always so much more than you could possibly conceive God's will, than you could possibly conceive. God's will is good will. And as that will is made manifest in your life, you will see that Spirit wants more for you than you want for yourself. More supply than you have asked for. More joy, peace, and beauty. A perfect body rather than just relief from pain and sickness. An ideal relationship instead of one that will soon fade away. When you surrender to God, you are surrendering to a greater good and a higher degree of happiness than you have ever known. At this step in the process, you release your desires, the visualized scenario, your willfulness, your entire consciousness. You turn everything over to the master consciousness within and let each and every detail of your life be perfected by the divine vision. You get out of the way of the divine circuits and let God be God. And how will you know if you have truly surrendered? By the total lack of concern, anxiety, and outside pressure in consciousness. This negative energy will have been replaced with the positive vibrations of peace, joy, and confidence, and you will find yourself beginning to live in a state of grace. There's shadows on here, I'm sorry. Now there are 2 ways of letting go and letting God. One way is to turn everything over to Spirit while maintaining the same state of consciousness that produced the problem in the first place. This is like saying, prosper me, heal me, but you've got to do it without my help, right? It does not work that way, but it does work when you let go and let God work through your uplifted thinking and feeling natures. It does work when you surrender to Spirit after you have done your part in raising your consciousness. That is when you begin to live under grace, the love of God in action, where cosmic law works on a higher frequency to dissolve the negative appearances and make all things new. Whoops. So I'd just like to share some words out of Yogapedia and how Yogapedia explains surrender. I thought this was good. So surrender can be described as the practice within yoga of letting go of struggle and control. It is linked to the concept of trust. Surrender as a practice is referred to in the Yoga Sutras to mean to surrender to God or a higher power. It is said that this is a crucial step on the path to samadhi, which is the ultimate goal of yoga. Surrender is a practice. It is also said to help the practitioner to feel more peaceful, less agitated, and less fixated on the self and the ego. The practice of surrendering to a higher power does not have to mean the worship of a god or a separate supreme being. It can simply be to surrender to the inner teacher of the divine within oneself. It is said that when one surrenders the ego identity to this higher self, one transcends feeling of separation from others. One devotes one's life to serving the divine within all beings, and in doing so is freed from anxiety, self-doubt, and negative karma. An attitude of surrender is not the same as giving up. A person can still fight for what is right, work hard, and strive for meaningful goals. But with an attitude of surrendering to and accepting whatever outcome arises. Essentially, it is about doing the work without attachment to any one particular outcome, but instead simply surrendering to what comes. That is so much easier said than done, isn't it? Holy smoke. It's easy to read on the paper. So from Merriam-Webster, I want to give you a definition from Merriam-Webster. Surrender means to give oneself up into the power of another. Okay? So let me expand on that just a little bit. Give oneself up into the power of another. So in this case, that other power would be God. And as we practice metaphysics here, we know that that power that we call God is the very essence and basis of our existence. So it really isn't another power, but a greater, more expanded version of ourselves, right? So we are really giving up our sense of a separate self, surrendering that sense of a separate self into the knowing that we are a part of that God mind. In fact, that God mind created us as a divine idea. So everything supporting that idea is already within us. When we surrender, we first admit this to be true. And then when we actually realize that it is true, then surrender has worked its magic, and we feel a sense of relief that something larger than we are is really in control of our life. Our true power, the one infinite intelligence. Thank God, huh? So I want to share just a little something, look at what I have to read, that I wrote down last night. And I didn't really want to retype my whole thing, so I'm going to just read it like it is. When I'm thinking of surrendering, and I'm thinking of this whole month spending on surrender, which is a very sensitive subject, brings up a whole lot of emotion for a lot of people, right? And we're going to be talking about this the whole month, how to handle this, how to even surrender. Well, God is so good. Dave, do you know how good God is?
How good?
I'll tell you how good God is. Thank you, someone. So good that because the focus for September is surrender, I have been given the opportunity to really practice surrender this past week. Right? So that I could write these services and have something relevant and fresh to base all of it on. So I'm going to share that with you. I got surrender practice, and you know what? I needed it. Right? I sent my ego to do some business for me, and it didn't turn out well. The ego always speaks in limitation. It speaks about what it doesn't want and what it does want, right? Always limiting, though, as our personal desires for ourself are always limited by good and bad, the world. So when I sent my ego to do my business, it did not end well for me. In very clear terms, I became aware of my complaining and my belly aching. That's what happens when I send my victim ego to do my business, right? Instead, I need to send God to do my business. God works silently in the invisible. God is swift and quick. So the only way to send God is to be silent and work in the invisible realm of thought and emotion myself. As I continually realize my oneness with God by meditating, contemplating, and praying, then my faith in the power of God as my power, it grows. And magically, I let go of trying to control and manipulate the outside world and other people. Does anyone do that? Am I the only one?
No.
Days. It's exhausting and it's a dead end street. Anytime I'm struggling in my life, emotionally, mentally, or physically, it is time to surrender to God. God's got this. Mariah had a t-shirt on yesterday. She said, I've got this, God's got this. All is well no matter what. God isn't stupid. God's got this. It's not only safe and okay to let go, but it is essential for my joy of being to let go and trust that my source is here and now. It is alive within me right now, sourcing my life with its very life. It doesn't get much better than that. I cannot fail, because that would mean God is a failure. And clearly we see evidence of intelligence in the natural world, although sometimes it's tough to see in humanity. Right? God is eternal life. Therefore, our truth also is eternal life, eternally alive as me. So step aside, my dearest ego. Stand down, because God's got this.
Beautiful.
So I have a quote here from A.W. Tozer, and after this we're going to offer a song that was written by Barry Ebert, and David so beautifully sings this. This quote says, "The reason why many are still troubled, still seeking, still making little forward progress is because they haven't yet come to the end of themselves. We're still trying to give orders and interfering with God's work within us."
Amen.
I have grown weary from all of this trying. My soul is still crying for something that's true. I know you can hear me. Sometimes I can feel you. And I know I'm the reason you're finding it hard to get through. 'Cause I got my own little stories, and I build them around me like walls, but they just get in the way till I can't hear what you say when you call. So I will step aside, let your love move through me. My heart is open wide. I've been hiding so long, a candle in the darkness. All along you knew me, just waiting for the time I'd be still enough to hear your song. for the answers in people and things. I've tasted the heartaches that loving can bring. I've taken my chances, felt the fire when he touched me, and I know there's still music inside me to make my heart sing. So I'm laying aside my defenses, and I'm giving myself to the quest. 'Cause the song that you play when I get out of the way is my best. So I will step aside, let your love move through me. My heart is open wide, my spirit is strong, a candle in the darkness. Know that all you knew me, just waiting for the time I'd be still enough to hear your song. You were just waiting for the time I'd be still enough to hear your song.
Way to bring it, David.
All right, we better pass those tissues around.
Yeah. Where
Thank
are
you
they?
so much, Dave. Thank you. All right, so I do have some more things to share with you. I made a handout today, and I'd like to just talk about what does surrender feel like a little bit today. I created this handout so you could practice what we're going to talk about regularly at your home. You can have some homework. And although that there's 16 affirmations on the handout, I would like to share just 8 of them with you this morning so that we can begin to recognize what surrender feels like. So I'll go through this with you now, and then you can pick up the handout afterwards, and there's actually 8 more of them. And maybe as I'm sharing these statements with you, you might pull up some issue or some person or a situation which you might have some pain around, something you may be struggling with right now, and allow those things to come into your mind intuitively as you hear these affirmations of surrender and trust. To trust whatever comes up for you. Take just a moment to get yourself into an attitude to receive right now. So just relax, get yourself into a receiving mode, breathe easy, because you've come to a spiritual center and your spiritual life is important to you, or you wouldn't be here. So open to all it has to offer this morning by receiving these affirmations as your own as I'm reading. And as I read, allow the words and ideas to penetrate your being and become rooted in your consciousness, where they will work magic in your life. The magic of surrender. Number 1, I let go of what I can't change. You may feel out of sorts when things don't go your way. Take this opportunity to pause in the moment and practice letting go. When you feel as though you have exhausted all options, know that surrender is in order. Surrender is not giving up, but rather saying, I let go of the outcome and proceed forward without expectations. A true surrender is a realization that all is in divine order and you are always being guided. Now close your eyes if you choose and feel these words as your own. I release my control of things I cannot change. Instead of trying to force things to go a certain way, I trust the universe is working on my behalf. I see everything in life has its own time and place, and I allow all to be as it is. I let go. Now breathe and exhale. Number 2. Out of difficulties grow new beginnings. I trust the process. You have everything you need to move into the next phase of your life. You are being guided and you are safe and protected. Say with me now, I step forward with confidence and trust my new beginning is appropriate for my big picture. My life is important and I allow myself to be fully in the process. It is safe to release all troubling situations. Now breathe and exhale. Number 3. Regardless of the outcome, I am taken care of. You need not worry about the resolution of the current situation. Instead of trying to solve the problem with sheer force, trust you will get exactly what you need, no matter the outcome of the uncertain situation. You are taken care of. The affirmation: all of my needs are met. I am full of love and my attention is on the present moment. No matter what the outcome, I know it will be for my greater good. Now breathe and exhale. Number 4. I am open and willing to live my life in new ways. You may be in a situation that has not worked out as planned, but now is the time to try again. Closed doors will always lead to new opportunities for growth and expansion. Your power is not in how the situation has played out, but in how you proceed right now. And the affirmation: setbacks in life can be surprising opportunities for growth. Although this time of my life may be uncertain, I trust my future self is guiding me. I am willing to see the silver lining, and I am open to living my life in refreshing new ways. Now breathe and exhale. Number 5. The universe has a plan greater than mine. Have faith in your inner wisdom and trust the timing of your dreams. You may feel conflicted or unsure of your path, but today is the time to turn inward and trust the nudges coming to you. And affirm with me: I don't always get what I want, but I know I will always get what I truly need. I may feel stuck and at a standstill at times, but when I turn inward, I know all is in order, and I know I am being guided. Now breathe and exhale. Number 6. Anything I give my attention to will flourish and grow. Pay attention to where you focus your thoughts. What you see is a result of where you have been putting your emotional energy. If there is an area of your life you are dissatisfied with, look back to your recent and current thoughts about that situation. Turn your focus to what you want and watch it flourish and grow. And the affirmation: I am responsible for all I experience. I always align with my loving light and focus on what I want with joy and ease. I release all worry and spend my time creating my joy-filled reality. When I focus on what I want, it flourishes and comes to me. Breathe. And exhale. Number 7. Situations don't hurt. Expectations do. If there are situations causing you pain, look at what your expectations were. Did you want something to happen that didn't? Or maybe things didn't work out according to your plan. Expectations hurt your ability to enjoy life and accept the process. You will always get exactly what you need when you need it. The affirmation. I release all expectations and allow myself to be in the flow of life. I embrace the journey and let things unfold naturally. The situations I am in are part of my life plan. I accept them as though I had chosen them myself. I release all expectations and trust things are as they should be. Breathe. And exhale. Number 8. I surrender all expectations. You may focus too much on the outcome. When you focus too much on how things will play out, you do not trust divine resolution. Instead of manipulating your energy and putting it under such a strain, surrender your expectations by trusting all is in right order. The affirmation. I am connected to my true self and know all is in perfect order. I have goals and deep desires, and they will be manifested in their own right time and place. I release my need to have things when and how I want, and I turn my trust to the universe. I always get what I need when I need it. I surrender now and breathe. So to end today, I would like to share a poem. And Karen, it's not Rumi, it's Hafez.
Okay.
So I told her it was
Sounds good.
Rumi, it's
Sounds
Hafez. And the name of this poem is I Heard God Laughing. Okay. Actually, the name of this poem is called Tripping Over Joy, from the book I Heard God Laughing. So Tripping Over Joy. He says, what is the difference between your experience of existence and that of a saint? The saint knows that the spiritual path is a sublime chess game with God, and that the beloved has just made such a fantastic move, that the saint is now continually tripping over joy and bursting out in laughter and saying, I surrender. Whereas, my dear, I am afraid you still think you have 1,000 serious moves.
Yes.
Yeah, that Hafez, huh? All right, sing with us.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every starshine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. fall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything I fall, everything I know, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe, and your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything I fall, everything I go, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything I fall, everything I go, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything I fall, everything I go, everything I know is you.
Okay, as the ushers come forward, this is our time to consciously participate in the spiritual practice of the law of circulation. So if you will take your gift, your tithe, whatever in your hand, and just know with me that as I have abundantly received, I abundantly give, knowing that as I give, it opens the floodgates for more receiving and more giving. For it is all from the bounteous supply of spirit. And so it is. And our affirmation is in your spirit.
And I live in an abundant universe.
These next words in the program also. I release and I let go. The spirit of my life and my heart is open wide. I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. I'm only for God. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for
And these gifts are gratefully received as they go forth, prospering our church, our community, and our world. And so it is.
So it is.
All right, y'all, we're going back to the affirmation for the offering. So get your handout out, and the offering affirmation. Does everybody see it? Raise your hand when you see the offering. All right, here we go one more time.
I am abundant, and I live in an abundant universe.
Okay, everyone, class, all together now. Ready? One more time. I am abundant and I live in an abundant universe. Yeah. All right. Now y'all know how that works, right? So I just like to welcome anyone who is here for the first time. If you're new and haven't been to CSL before, thank you for joining us and welcome. All right, so on your handout again, we have all new claiming our good affirmations. So get those out. I'll give you a minute to look at those. I know they're brand new. We're just going to say them all the way down. We're talking about surrender here. Here we go. I release my control of things I cannot change. Instead of trying to force things to go a certain way, I trust the universe is working on my behalf. I see everything in life has its own time and place, and I allow all to be as it is. I let go, I let God, and so it is.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
All right, so be sure and take your hand out because I wouldn't want any of you missing out on your homework, right? Okay, so our closing affirmation is in your handout. I know, we need those handouts a lot. Let's say it together here at the very end, the closing one. Here we go. I am a beautiful individual, inside and out. Now believe it.
I'm sorry, baby.